I'll have to edit that at some point. But
Oh, well, it's gonna stay on there.
I don't know how to edit. Okay, well, welcome.
Happy to be here.
So, what brings you here to therapy today?
I am new to Fargo. I just moved here during the pandemic, and it's been kind of hard getting to meet people. And my boyfriend and I just recently broke up, so that's had some challenges along the way as well.
Definitely. So, what do you kind of find yourself doing in the pandemic? I know it's hard, but what do you find yourself doing?
What I find myself doing is not connecting with people as much. I don't get to go out as much as I would like. Trying to like have family FaceTimes and like Zoom happy hours with friends, but finding that balance between staying safe and sane.
That's good. I like that. Okay, so if you normally, how would you connect with people? Decide outside of the pandemic.
I like to just meet up with friends for drinks, or we go play volleyball, or do a workout class together. Just any type of socializing we like to be around. Well, I like that connection.
So you said volleyball. Do you play in any leagues, or do you?
I did play in a league when I first moved to Fargo. I played with my, at the time, boyfriend. He had a team. So I got to meet people through him. That was fun, but that we're not together. There's been some hurdles with that. It's hard to get into a volleyball community that he's been a part of for so many years.
Are you still trying to maintain those friendships, or was it kind of a circumstantial? You know what I mean?
I really liked his friends that I met through it, but at the same time, like I've been told those are his friends, so I should leave. Which, yeah, some of them I liked, I did like a lot, but I also don't open campus.
Well, we're considering moving here in the pandemic and kind of all new everything. Was there other things that you started now that you maybe wish like things would have gone slower or just better all at once? Like what is provoking how you're
I guess it's all just a new change for me. I felt a little lost. I'm trying to get my footing again. I'm trying to get into somewhat of a routine and find how I can find myself and my way here. I've tried doing it through, I have joined a fitness gym here in Fargo at Fly. I really like the social aspect that I get from there. I like the gym. I've made a couple of friends outside of my now ex-boyfriend, which has been nice. And I've told them, like, hey, I just really would like to get to know people here. And they're totally supportive of that. They know lots of people invite me out for that, for things. So, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought.
It's okay. That's okay. That's good. I mean, and realizing that you are more than just your relationship or outside of that is huge. So what brought you here?
School. And then also I did move here because I thought it would help make my ex-boyfriend's future better. But honestly, ever since I moved here, it just kind of went up.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where you really get to know a person and then you get to know what they're like. Because you can know we have been dating for over a year, but distant. Like he lived in Florida, so we definitely still had our separate lives. And then once we brought them together, they just didn't seem to mesh as smoothly as we would have.
How's schooling going? Aside from the boyfriend, how's schooling? Are you liking it?
Schooling's good. It's mainly online right now, which is annoying. I have never been in school. I just like accountability of having to class. But I mean, it does have its perks. There is the accessibility that makes it super easy. Like I can roll out of bed 10 minutes before class and I just have class right there in my room. That's going well. The content is I'm not really struggling with content. But and it's interesting that I like is that I think it's going to go to what
That's gotta feel good. Yeah. Okay. So, what are you studying?
I am studying speech, language, and hearing sciences right now. Taking post-baccalaureate route to the speech, language pathway. Because I have my bachelor's degree in biology from Jamestown. Tried to get into medical school and that didn't work out. So I tried to find a different route, and this is what I'm attempting. Gonna is speech
How does that how does it make you feel? If you close doors, it sounds like with the medical and then opening with speech.
Yeah, it's definitely not necessarily how I saw a route that I saw myself going down, but I think the end just finding a fulfilling profession to help some consistent daily basis, and very impactful, and that is the overall end goal. And that I'm
Oh, that's a very nice word. That was good. Okay, so if I regarding back to the pandemic, and so when you first moved here, what like feelings were you feeling um, throughout?
isolated.
Isolated?
I was very isolated.
With I guess with that, was it because of the pandemic? Was it because of moving to a town? Is it
I think it's
all
both.
of
I think it was a combination of both. Um, I mean, I knew it was going to be different. I knew my day-to-day life wasn't going to be the same, but I guess I just didn't realize what that meant. Like, it meant I wasn't going to be able to just, with my old roommate, like, I wouldn't just be able to, like, hey, let's go to the Jamestown Reservoir today, like, just out of whatever. I really want a coffee. Let's go get a coffee. Just anything that, like, it disconnected things like that. And I didn't have that. I don't really have. I think I'm starting to find it, but I didn't have it.
it definitely made things challenging. Like figuring out like you're back to norm because our norms are nowhere near norm right now. That definitely is a challenge. Um, with that feeling isolated and being in a new town, how did you kind of handle that? Or like what were your outlets that you decided later on like maybe worked better for you than
Um, I've always been a big believer that my physical health is up to my mental health. So I found that was one of the first things when I moved to town. I was like, I need to find a gym to work out at. You know that? I found that when I go 4 to 5 times a week to the gym, I just feel better. I have a higher self-esteem. I feel more clear. I'm not as stressed. Just overall makes me feel better.
so working out in that community absolutely is helpful. Your mental health. Was there another thing or is that kind of like is there
Um, I mean, I have a dog, so I like getting out for which drives me. But she's another outlet as well. She's a good just escape, and she's good entertainment. Like if you're bored, it's just like okay, I'll take her to. She really enjoys it. Just get out of the house.
yeah, getting out, especially when you feel isolated, is involved in outside of your windows, which is so difficult this time around. I know you said you're feeling better and kind of finding like your way and kind of like your groove in Fargo. What would it take for you to feel happier or more at peace right now? In your, and it's a heavy question, but you can take your time and break it down. What would it take to feel happier or more at
Um,
peace?
right now, I'm currently trying to find a place to live.
Okay.
Because my boyfriend and I, we did live together.
Okay.
We tried, even after we were tried, and um, to see if we could make a roommate situation work, because we still wanted to meet each other. That was, so I'm really trying to find a place to live. Also, there's financial strain of that because we have this here support. So my own place. Luckily, I have friends that are gonna let me stay with them. The basement. They have this house, so that'll be good. And then just some more independence. I don't need a job right now because I'm a full-time student, but I'm gonna get one just because that allows for that. I find freedom and structure as well, because right now with just school, like I have a lot of downtime and it's hard to. I find it difficult to stay on top of things when I don't have it's like pressing me for time.
Yep.
So I feel like having a job stabilize that, and then there's a lot more freedom for to establish a routine and feel comfortable.
Routine is huge when it comes to feeling normal for kind of like at peace, like you have somewhere to go, some function, something to look forward to that it's now. That's with independence. You had a full-time job before going back to school, right? Because we're a little older. Let's going back to school.
Everybody else is what? Just turning 21 in my class.
I know, it's okay. So with, I mean, I guess with being an older classmate, older student, there we go, older student, was there any kind of like, oh, I should probably have figured out like all these people are doing it before me and here I am, these are coming in.
I definitely felt like the old geezer at times, I will say that. One nice thing is there's quite a few, there's about 6 of us that are also post-backs. Okay. And I'm not the oldest, which is nice. Yeah. That validation.
It's okay. You're never too old to start.
So I didn't necessarily feel like, ooh, I don't have my shit together. I mean, we know it. But at the same time, like, I was like, like, there's just certain things where I'm like, oh, it's insane. Part of life is insane. So it's harder to make a connection to that. And then also being that makes it difficult.
Definitely. Especially when some people have cameras on for Zoom and it's not as personal. Meeting classmates versus sitting next to them, explaining this into a terrible picture. Okay. You already answered why you took go back to school. What is it like? How is it different from where you were living before, and kind of now, like despite the living situation, kind of like life before that and life now? What feelings do those bring?
Well, with Jamestown, there was a lot of familiarity. Jamestown was a smaller town. I had been there for 7 years, went to college there, and hung around for a bit. That college job really sucked me in.
Same.
And also just like familiar faces, familiar people, knowing their routine is like, oh, I only need to leave my house 7 minutes to get to work on time. 7 minutes early to get to work on time. Or knowing like it's good to go to Hugo's at this time of day, not at this time. Things like that. Like there's just familiarity and structure there that I liked. Kind of Fargo, I'm like, it's like I thought I always had to leave anywhere I went in this town. I always thought I had to leave like half an hour. But that also depends on the time of day.
Yeah.
Where you're going and which way you're taking. If you take the correct exit. And Fargo's big. I don't really know this area very well, so that's a lot of unfamiliar places.
On the edge.
Yeah. It's all over there.
Yeah.
Um, and then also, like I mentioned, you go to here, I'm like, we got more Morbachers or cash wise, like it's just like, which grocery store do I go to and where are things there? It's just like a lot of new experiences, which I was excited about, but I didn't realize how taxing and exhausting. Like,
A lot of new, definitely. That change is always kind of hard, especially when you choose like multiple changes at one time. It can feel kind of like, yeah, heavy. That's a good word. Definitely. Um, right, Alex. What, I guess, what would be your um, therapeutic goal, or what do you want to get out of talking with someone or meeting someone?
I would love to learn some coping skills for my anxiety. I definitely have panic attacks where it's kind of the room is on fire, I can't stop sweating type feeling. Um, and then just gain confidence. I did go to, I did see a therapist about a year ago for kind of self-image things and also some coping skills for fire type.
Did anything that you worked with her previously, do you utilize it, or like still did it carry over? Like what worked for you?
Yeah, so I know a lot of it is like changing your mindset, which is so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
So I really helped, it really helped with the actual concrete, like tangible coping skills that she taught me, like drinking water. It helps ground us.
Yeah. Go for it.
It helps ground us and kind of bring you back in, and that helps. And then breathing techniques. I didn't realize that I've been breathing wrong for so much of my life. Like I thought, like worked on like breathing, like fill up your lungs. And now even in school, I learned that's a wasted breath. It puts you in like fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's all stomach breathing and pushing your stomach out.
The diaphragm.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's really that's a good list you've got going so far. With your coping skills, I guess panic attacks with the roof on fire. Um, there isn't many people who feel that. I myself included.
It's not fun.
No.
So much.
What do you use your breathing with that, or what kind of what is like your first instinct to when you start feeling yourself have those episodes?
I can usually tell like before they're gonna happen. Like, oh, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Which my therapist and I kind of talk just like it's almost like you're walking yourself to that doorstep. She's like you're just like so focused on not sweating, you bring yourself to sweating. So when I recognized that, one thing that she always like, she said that I was kind of saying, it's like you're human, you're allowed to make mistakes, and it's just something so simple like that. We'll like start mistakes, mistakes, mistakes. Then also one of my favorite TED talks and probably just watching the history of the Super Bowl. It's like before I go somewhere, I'll try to do that. And the other breathing techniques as well. I just wish to breathe.
Yeah.
Because
right.
I know it's all biology and stimulating that parasympathetic nerve in your gut, but
Yeah.
just
well for so long I think I think so long that people were told to take a really deep breath out and no, it's not. I need to, and then
sometimes
just kind
it makes me panic.
Yeah, sometimes like just rewiring how you're supposed to breathe is you wouldn't think it'd be difficult, but it presents itself as yeah, definitely. Great. Well, those are a very good lists to start with and keep going with, and just finding helpful. Okay, so what else? Do you have any other things you kind of wanted to cover? You said just coping skills, Did you want to elaborate on those or maybe learn some new ones?
Um, yeah, and just get more practice with them. And one thing that I have within the past month, I've been actually trying to really focus on my breathing. Like I'm just saying, something, kind of like focus myself and like, right, God, so, yeah. I've also, before moving to Fargo, was dealing with like a lot of grief and guilt. I suppose it's can't. Within a year, I lost both my sister and my dad. And I guess I keep forgetting because in the grand scheme of all of it, like it just, I also lost my grandpa in that time. In July of 2019, my grandpa had passed away after battling stage 4 bone cancer for over a year. 2 weeks after that, we found out my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which was just crazy. My dad was 45. We never would have thought that was causing issues. And then after that, in October, my sister had went into cardiac arrest and she passed away. Um, she battled cystic fibrosis for life. And then I lost my dad in June. So that made it for one hell of a year and lots of changes. And I thought moving to Fargo, I more changes. And it's like, that's going to be like a change that I have control. Like that's a change that I chose. So I thought it was all great and rainbows and awesome and such a new change. And then I got here. It's very disappointing, very open that all those changes.
Well, that's some heavy stuff. I'm sorry for all your loss. That's really tough to deal with and would be very anxiety provoking. Everything. Everything.
So, as if I didn't like uncertainty enough, it created so much more uncertainty. I've found the holidays is the worst time to do it. We actually feel so, so
I mean, the norm is not, and that's hard. What do you? Uh, I know it's fresh, but for holidays, are there things that will make it better, or things that you guys have kind of talked about that might make things better or different?
So when I saw my previous therapist, she had said like try to find like everything has changed, but it seems that I find a lot of recognizable things, and she's like try to like kind of keep those similar things in your repertoire. Like she knows it will never be the same, but there is some comfort in things like that. Like one thing that we talked about is whenever I go back home, it's like I miss like my sister being there, and like we would just like go to the local bar, and literally it would just be us two. We'd have supper and we'd have drinks and play pool. It's like we just like I always had her there to do something. So like missing things like that, she like encouraged us like, well, like your mom can go, you can reach out to a friend or something. And my mom and then a aunt and I did go one time, and it actually felt nice. Like it just felt. I was like, I recognize this. Like I can handle this. Like it's just like kind of like a comfort.
That having that control is like, this is what we did, this is what I still want to do. Because then it's almost like you're doing something with them and you're not forgetting. You know? And that's gotta be.
So trying to find that in the holidays. This past Christmas, we've always spent Christmas with my dad's side, which has been a whole different dynamic. I mean, with my dad directing on the side, like it's all everybody's just sad, everybody's just full of grief, and we're all dealing with it. So relationships have changed. But my dad's sister, she had us over for Christmas on Christmas Day this past year. And we had supper and open gifts like we always did. After we had left, my mom and I were like, that wasn't sad. We were like, that actually felt good. Like it was a good time. And then I had met up with my grandma like a couple weeks after before I had left Christmas. And she's like, it was good too. Like we all just like it wasn't sad, and I think it was again that.
You think that all the change of life and whatnot kind of made you that push to move and make that change to Fargo, kind of like, if not now, then
Exactly. Yes, it literally was. I was like, if this, I'm like, if I'm not going to do it now, when the hell am I going to do it? Because I'm going to get into some new routine. I'm going to get comfortable with again. My life was like uprooted. So I was like, I'm going to freaking make sure it goes back where I think I want. I think I still want to do. That's the whole thing too. Like I'm just like maybe there's disappointment in Fargo. I don't. It's just obviously when you picture things, our brains are really good at not picturing them, and we're just skipping over that or just making it seem less than that. It definitely was like a. I'm going to make a change. Now is going to be. So yeah.
well, we'll keep working on this stuff, and I think that's a really good start. Thank you for being so open about everything, and we'll come back to this stuff and keep working on some skills and make it listen.
Are you sure?
Yeah.